I've just finished recording this video and I've discovered that the sound and the video get horribly unsynchronized as time goes on, so I just wanted to apologize for that before the video starts. Um, the main thing is obviously the audio, so I would probably recommend once you start playing the video to just minimize it or something, because I know it gets really annoying if the sound gets out of sync, so please try to bear with it. Onto the video.
Hi everyone, this is going to be a video on virtual reality. There's been a lot of talk about this recently, and in Mendham, Gary has done a lot of work on this so far, and he's really answered all of the common questions that come up when the solution is proposed and talked about. And I think he's really done a very good job of explaining the whole thing, explaining the situation, the problem, and the solution. Now, a lot of people seem to still not get this idea, the solution, for some reason, even after his explanations. So what I'm going to do today is try to explain the whole thing, the problem, the cause for the problem, and the solution in a different way. I'm probably not going to be able to do as good a job as he's done, but my goal is to hopefully just present this in a different way, not necessarily better or worse, just different in my words, and hopefully it'll push the right buttons. It'll trigger the right thoughts for somebody that maybe didn't get triggered in his videos. So I'll post links on this video to some of the videos that he's done already. And if you've got any questions about this, feel free to post video responses or put comments in the comments field. Put your questions in there. But please watch those videos that I've linked first, and you'll probably find that your questions have been addressed in those videos. Okay, so I'll start off by basically explaining what we are, why we're here. We are basically, as described by Mendham, most appropriately I think, basically bacteria with brains. Now what that means is that we have evolved over time, just as every other living organism has, into what we are today. And every physical trait that we have, every ability we have, is basically the product of two goals, essentially: to survive and reproduce. And a byproduct of this survival and reproduction is consumption, and a huge amount of consumption. Basically, with the amount of people we have in the world today, it's a huge amount of consumption. And if you look at any physical trait that we have, it will be able to be explained by those goals, to those ends of survival and reproduction. Now, we've evolved tools over time to make that job easier, to make survival easier. And the tools we have are, our bodies, basically everything in our bodies. And one of the tools that we've developed is our brain, and that's what it is. It's a tool. Now, one of the main functions of the tool, which is the brain that I'm talking about, obviously, is to give us a means of interpreting the physical world as it is out there. So what we see around us is the physical world. That is there, it's physical, it's finite. It is what it is how it is, it's just around us, physical, tangible. Now, one of our brain's main functions is to create for us a reality. It is to basically interpret this reality around us in a way that will make it useful to us, in a way that will make it possible for us to navigate and survive in this world and to reproduce in this world. So the brain works in conjunction, obviously, with our senses to produce our perception of the world around us, which I will call our consciousness. The consciousness that we experience every waking moment is the combination of our senses that we've developed to adjust to the world out there. Eyes interpreting the light signals, ears interpreting the audio signals, touch, taste, smell. And the brain takes all of this and combines these into this perception that we have of reality around us. And the reality that we have around us is shared by all of us. It's the same reality, obviously. Our brains all work in the same way, and they interpret this world in basically the same way, obviously with exceptions, autism and, various other brain dysfunctions which disrupt the standard interpretation and usage of our senses to produce the consciousness that we know. Now, a byproduct, as I said before, of the whole survival and reproduction thing is consumption. It's a huge consumption, and we need things to keep going, to keep moving forward. And also some of the traits that we've developed, emotions and all these kinds of things, the need that we feel for relationships and things like that. And everybody has slightly different wants and desires that they've come to need, that they've come to desire, and that changes from person to person, but it's basically all the same. And the problem that we face is that we have limited resources, and it's not always practical to satisfy everyone's desires and everyone's wants and everyone's emotional things that they need, and addictions that we have, both the inherent addictions that we have to life and surviving and that sort of thing, to the extra developed addictions like wanting more and more and bigger and bigger. We're basically never satisfied. It's been said that if you give somebody $1,000, then they'll want $2,000, and as soon as you give them $2,000, they'll want $3,000. And we all know this. We all see this. We all experience this. This is all of us. This is just what we are, and it's not. Nobody's blaming anybody for it. This is just what we've developed. That's just what we are. That's just what we have become. And we're always wanting more and more and more, and we're never really satisfied with what we've got. And with the world's population increasing at the rate it is now, it's just not practical. It's just not sustainable to keep satisfying these needs and these desires and things that everybody wants. It's just not something that we can keep up doing forever, So that presents a real problem for us. So it calls for a solution that basically can provide all of these needs in a sustainable way, satisfactorily. So it's got to do the job. Whatever the solution is, it's got to do the job 100%. Okay, we can't have any 80%, because then people will just carry on doing what they're doing. Now, the solution that we're going to be talking about is a virtual reality system, a fully immersive, which is really the key phrase here, fully immersive virtual reality system. Now, I'm not talking about the virtual reality that we have access to today, where you play a computer game or something like that, just something external. That's not the kind of thing I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is a system where we can create a complete replacement consciousness for ourselves. Think of a dream that you've had. We've all had dreams. Think of a dream that you've had. Think of how it felt, what the experience was like when you were in a dream. for the time that you were in a dream state, that was your reality. That was reality. As far as you knew, that was reality. And it's kind of it takes a few seconds after you wake up to adjust, to reality again, to the common reality, the real tangible reality. Now, this is the kind of system we want to create. This is what we're talking about. This is the idea. The idea is to create this fully immersive system that will, now, the physical way such a system would work is it would have to connect into the brain in some way. The details of which, are irrelevant at this stage. They will come later through investment of time and money, time and resources. We can create such a system.